Give me your best horse impression.
I can't.
Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben.
And I'm Kay.
And today we're reviewing a Netflix original movie called Horse Girl.
A socially awkward woman with a fondness for arts and crafts, horses and supernatural crime shows finds her increasingly lucid dreams trickling into her waking life.
So Jeff Boehner directed this film. It's his fourth directorial... not debut. It's his fourth film. I've never heard of any of the other films. I will be checking them out now, I think. This is a film that we knew about. We saw the trailer, watched half of the trailer and thought, that looks interesting. We're going to chuck it off. Let's go. Rather than ruin anything, let's go and watch the film. So I had an expectation that it was going to be slightly strange. But if you've come across the thumbnail or just the title and somebody says, have you seen that new Netflix film, Horse Girl? You could be forgiven to thinking that's one of the hundreds of rom-com indie films that are out there and you just skip it.
And it's going to be about horses.
And it's going to be about horses. This film is not about horses. It has a horse in it, and there's moments in it where there are horses. But this is, if I were a swearing reviewer, I would say this is a mind. But I'm not, so I'm not going to say that.
You did.
Did I?
You did it.
Or did I bleep it out?
No. Oh, okay.
I like the protagonist, Alison Brie. I think she's great in Glow, the woman of wrestling. She has a real presence to her screen acting. She does really intense, emotional, and then really kind of dry looks, but still conveying stuff. And I think that was a good choice in having her play this particular character that goes through what is essentially what it seems like a degradation of your mind, just losing your mental...
a psychotic break.
Yeah. Your mental capacity to differentiate between what is real and what is not. You mentioned that you thought it reminded you a lot of Donnie Darko.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a bit of a Donnie Darko kind of feel. And essentially also, right up until the end, had that kind of, what? Sort of element that Donnie Darko really has in buckets. And you kind of keep going, what?
Yeah.
What?
So we're going to do this review in a slightly different way. I'm going to tell you now whether you're the type of person that's going to like this film, and then afterwards we're just going to talk a bit about it from plot points. So this will be our short review, and then we're actually going to talk a bit spoiler stuff, so I'll let you know. So this film is very interesting. I think it's going to split down the middle. I doubt there's going to be anybody in between. You're probably either going to like it or really dislike it, and then you'll still be intrigued as to why you disliked it. It's a very interesting, different film. It's like if David Lynch had dropped acid and made a film, or just did a David Lynch film, maybe. It
reminded me a bit of The Naked Lunch, which I'm, revealing my age, but if you've ever seen a film that was made on drugs, or at least written while on
drugs. If you like films that take its time to get to what it's trying to do as well, then this is going to be right up your street. It does take its time. There does feel like it's got weird pacing. There are shots that it just stays on for ages. There's long corridor shots. There's purposefully close shots with eyes and emotional moments. There's mise-en-scene sometimes. Just everything in that one shot just there for you to feel awkward about. And I think this whole film is basically that. It's an awkward film right from the beginning when you think it might be an indie rom-com because it has that feel about it. It still screams and shouts awkwardness.
Yeah.
And then it starts building and you can kind of see, all right, this film is weird as feck. What the hell is going on? Is probably what you're going to be asking yourself the whole way through. And I do feel like you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And that's kind of what you're getting when you get this film. It's put together well. It's acted well. And that's about all I'm going to say on the review.
I would have given it 1 rating right up until like the last 15 seconds.
And what about
then the rating dropped dramatically.
Okay.
I think I'm just disappointed with the ending because it feels like rather than let us come to our own conclusions, which Donnie Darko did, this one actually tells you.
So that's our kind of review. We're going to jump into spoilers now. You have been warned.
Spoilers. Don't watch this if you want to enjoy it and be surprised.
But if you're coming to this review for afterwards to try and figure out what's going on, let's chat about it.
Okay.
Okay, so the whole film is this unraveling of this character. And you don't know whether she's actually mentally,
ill.
just gone, broken. There's this whole story about her mother and her family and grandmother, and then they also allude to her dreams and stuff that's going on there. So you're trying to figure out, with the people sleeping next to her and it all being very weird, is it time travel? But everybody's saying that she's mental.
I mean, this is my personal opinion. I think that it was all real. I think that she was actually being abducted by aliens, and I think that so were the other two people that she was seeing. The one guy, like she said, didn't wake up, so he didn't remember, and that those aliens can and do transport people through time. So actually, she is her grandmother, and her apparent psychosis was just her coming to that realization. And so right at the end, she gets zapped up by the aliens and she's going to get dumped back in the past where she becomes her own grandmother, which is freaky and weird. But, timey-wimey stuff, it's like she said, it's a loop. It's got to play out the way it's going to play out.
I think I already liked aspects of this film, and I understood what it was trying to do towards the end. It was trying to be that Donnie Darko sort of esque film with time travel, trying to get you to guess what it was. I think that's when it was strongest.
Yes.
When they started revealing stuff, and then especially the end, the way it was ended. I imagine it was a particularly hard film to end, but the way they ended it, I would have gone, like I said to you, I would have just shown us back. If they were going to show us, I would have put her back in time. I wouldn't have done the alien things of going up. I feel like that ruined something from the film. There was an expectation of you, the audience member, needs to figure out or kind of guess what you think what happened and leave you, like the spinning top at the end of Inception. That works really well.
Yeah.
This one, I just felt, well, really?
Yeah.
And then that's, if you're going to show us, that's all you're going to show us, because what were the aliens with the hands and the, and that the other guy didn't ever remember, but the girl didn't remember, but she remembered things.
She remembered elements, and then of course woke up one morning from 1995, and suddenly it's 2020, and she's like, "What the hell? Yeah. Where are all these buildings? Where did they come from? What's going on?"
So it's fun in places. I also do think it takes its time getting there. There are
really
a lot of drawn out shots. I think it could have been quicker, but for the style and aesthetic of it, with the tones, which I thought were excellent. I thought that this, particularly not the soundtrack, but the score of like the tones that they were putting in the whole time. If you recognize it when you're watching it, you recognize that they've been building it up from the beginning, just adding tones as they go along, and then at the end it's really kind of hyped up, and you're like, "Oh, this is weird."
But I think what's great about the film is that it made you feel uncomfortable the whole way along for various reasons. I think the first reason was her character. Yeah. She was so socially awkward that you just felt on edge for her all the time. Yeah. Like, what is she going to do?
Yeah, I was holding like the blanket and like, oh, this is so awkward to watch.
Yeah, but it wasn't like very often you get American comedies that are just so cringy that you can't watch them.
No, it wasn't like that at all.
You could watch this, but you felt nervous for her, on edge for her all
just
the time.
Just very real,
which was really good, really well done. And I think the way that they explored and kept you questioning, is this all in her mind? Is she becoming like her grandmother and her mother, who had obviously had some sort of psychosis, or that's what she thought.
Yeah.
And so it also makes you question, like if you've ever experienced someone or met someone who has had that kind of a break, that kind of an experience, for them it's 100% real. And so I guess the movie is questioning who are we to say that it isn't real.
Yeah.
Maybe it is real.
Okay, I think that's all we need to say about it. Chat to us in the comments below if you think we missed anything, or whether you thought it was fake. I'd be interested to know whether you think she was just had a mental break, or whether you think it was real.
Yeah, I mean, the film certainly suggests that it was real, but I think that it would have been a better film had they left us questioning. You know, that final scene where she lies down and she closes her eyes, and then the lighting changes and she opens her eyes. Finish it there. Keep us guessing. What happened? What was about to happen? Or the lighting changes and then you just look at the horse and she's gone. Like, where did she go? What happened? I think that would have been it would have challenged us more intellectually. We would have been discussing it for longer. We would have been thinking about it more. Now I'm just thinking, alien abduction.
Thanks so much for watching this review. Chat to us in the comments below. But most of all, until next time, remember,
live long on Tuesday.